This is where we're going to dissect some of the sites. So what I'm going to do is we're going to get into it a little bit, but I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to see how much you've retained over the last 45 minutes and see exactly what we think. All right. Is that going to be? Is it? We're going to do Quinn. Is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah.
Red Quinn.
Red.
Okay. .com. So we're going to get into this site a little bit, and for this part, I'm actually going to just go to it. So this will let me. Okay, lovely. Okay. Let's talk about the site a little bit. I'm going to apologize in advance only because the resolution kind of changes a little bit when you go up on the screen here, so it's not necessarily as wide. So some of that will be cut off, and we won't focus as much time on that. But I'm just going to throw it out. I'm going to give Giuseppe the first opportunity since what we've talked about. What's the first thing that you think when you see this site?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say this is not her actor page. This is our portal for our production company.
Okay.
So she has her own page on this. That's a whole other thing.
Okay.
But what was the thing?
No, I just said, based off of everything that we just talked about, is there anything that you'd change about this portal that you see here?
I'd make the colors brighter, I think, and try to find another 6 colors that I could add.
Good. All right, good. So you saw the same thing I did. I'll get into it. The portal is an interesting concept. A lot of people have production companies or whatever, and and I know I do. And then I have a group of actors that are kind of my go-tos, and so I like to have them within that network. But there's a consistency that I will show you. So, and it's not because I want it to be boring. I want people to get used to what they're seeing. And there's subtle differences as you go throughout the site, but for the most part, pretty much the same. And the reason I do that is because I don't have to take in what everything else is going on. I can just look for those subtle changes. That's what your brain is kind of looking for.
Go to Danielle then.
I am going to go to Danielle.
Don't go to her.
I will do that. Okay.
Because that's what she's putting on her resume and giving out to them.
Okay. So let's look at Danielle.
Oh, maybe not.
Okay, it's very colorful. So Danielle, what do you think about this content? Yeah, what do you think about based off of what you heard?
I think it's a little busy,
Mhm.
and I think the pink is distracting.
I agree.
And
It's lovely pink.
I don't know where to start.
Fair enough. So okay, so I think you had two very important things that they encompass a very large amount of change, right? Sometimes it's difficult because it's when I see the photos of Danielle, there's the bio and resume. There's something from the 48-hour film project. It's been so busy that I'm not exactly sure what to click first. I'm also not sure what I'm going to get when I click something. So that could work out in your advantage if somebody likes that level of mystery in their life. But even this content over here, which is it clickable? Okay, so that stuff's not clickable. But back on your portal page, I think some of the stuff like on the left-hand side was clickable, but I didn't know what it was. So it's kind of, and that's just, I wanted something to point out. Somebody should always know what they're about to get, because when they don't get that, they're not going to stay there long, and they're probably not going to go back and try to hunt for it. They're going to be like, I'm done. So make sure that you are giving them exactly what they need. So let's go ahead and click on photos of Danielle. Okay. So did anyone notice? Okay, first of all, not as busy, right? So that's good. So this is closer to where we want to get. Did anyone notice anything else in particular when we clicked on this link difference? Yeah.
I'm just gonna say one other thing. I still don't think I know this person's name. I still don't get it.
Fair enough. So, right, so up top here, because it's that whole portal, right? When we get to this section, like I said, it's the actor site, it is supposed to be all about you. That name, that's a great point, that name needs to be in front of you. You go to my site, good luck not finding my name anywhere you go. It is a huge ego trip, I love it. No, but again, I mean, you want people to associate, that's your branding, right? So, any opportunity you have to use your full name, go for it. And it's not personal. Don't think that it is. People are expecting that, and and I think that there are other opportunities on your site to make it more personal. But even here, right here, where I have Danielle by Michelle Baker Vest, that's a missed opportunity. Your last name should be there. Tell me what we're doing, and that'll tie into SEO. It's going to get picked up better, okay? Because otherwise, where are you going to show up in the world of Danielle's? And people are going to associate you with your last name. So that's something that we want to be careful about. I want to show you real quick the biggest thing that hit me, other than it getting less distracting, which is great. Take a look at the design here of our navigation, right? So it's kind of this, it's interesting, then it's different. Stay away from that. There is, because now I have to take it in again. I have to take in, what are all the options? If I knew what all the options were on the last one, your brain's going to spend less time processing this information. And where you think it might benefit you a little bit here, it probably won't. Somebody's just going to, they'll give up faster as they get deeper into your site, and they won't get to the content that you want them to.
In my defense, I'd like to say this evolved over 12 years.
And
evolutionary process.
No, but it was a great,
Now what's happening is I'm switching over to Joomla, which is like that whole thing where it's now taking in the entire 12-year thing and saying, now do it again.
It's great, and that's great. In a lot of those places, it's stuff like Joomla is it's great. And we'll talk when we talk about the options that you have for building your own site. Joomla is one of those ones that's a little bit more involved. I think the rewards, perhaps on the other side, are probably better if you're ready to invest that amount of time into building your site. But if you're looking for this mid-level whatever, then I'm going to probably kind of guide you to some of the other ones. But it's also not to say that it can't be a hybrid. Too. Joomla actually...
That's what's happening.
Right. But again, the thing that you want to be careful of, and I think what you found, is that you still want to make sure that your content management system is, if all possible, in one place. And most of that doesn't involve videos, because you're going to want to put those up on YouTube and allow that content management there. But that's just an embedding technique, that all of these places have. It's relatively easy, but you want to make sure that you have one place to go to do all of this information.
Nathan?
Yes. Another question.
Yeah. What is subscribe?
So great. So you have an RSS feed.
Yeah.
Right. So anytime you see this, these little semi-circle arcs here, that's a RSS feed symbol. So what does it go to, like a blog or something, or
it's just a calendar of events.
Okay, so that's great, right? So this is a good point. What am I subscribing to, right? So I can take chance, but if I don't know what I'm getting myself into, I'm probably not going to click on it. So be as honest with people as you can, because the people who are going to engage that content, those are the people that you want to engage with. Those are the people that you're interested, in. It's great that I have, 40-some-odd thousand followers on Twitter. I probably engage with like 30 of them, So you want to but they still know what they're getting. So you want to make sure that those 30 people that have subscribed to that feed know exactly what they're in for, and they aren't spending the next 15 minutes figuring out, how do I delete this feed out of my whatever I read RSS in. But that's a good question. I'm going to, if we're okay, unless you want to keep dissecting the site, I'm going to move on to another one. that guy. Hell with that guy. Hell with that guy. Okay, let's go to another one. Actorwriter.biz. Cliff, there you are. Okay, so Cliff, we'll get into this. Let's see, Actorwriter.biz. Actor.biz. Okay,
You spelled it wrong.
thank you. You're very perceptive. It's wonderful. Okay, great. So, Cliff, what are you trying to sell here on your site?
Versatility.
Versatility, right? Okay, so right up top, actor, speaker, playwright, and screenwriter. Okay, raise your hand if you're going to read that. Okay, so that's a lot of content right there to get into, and it's fine. Find a way, but break it up. Break it up into smaller, more digestible pieces. It's not that I don't want to read that information, but it has to be more well organized too. This is you have your nice summary here, but like when you have more, Cliff can be found under his name at IMDb, and then you show them what the web address is for IMDb. But great, just put the / and put NM whatever your IMDb name is, because I don't. You never want to make your viewers work for your content. You want to send them as easily there as possible. And I think that's part of why, and I think you saw on my site, you saw the IMDb logo is just sitting up top the whole time, right? And talking about actors, that's the first thing that people are naturally going to go check out anyhow. So let them. If it's that last step, and that little things like that. I mean, I could care less about my IMDb ranking. It really doesn't matter. But those things do help. It does. I mean, as far as your traffic to your site goes, and if you stay under a certain star meter, certain cool things will happen. At least where you start typing, somebody goes in and starts typing your name, it actually shows up in the drop-down list. If you get ranked high enough. So. But again, these little things that don't take any effort that help legitimize the fact that you are an actor, because you are working. You're SAG. You're out there doing your thing, and let people know that. Show them that you've been doing it for a while. Versatility, it's fine. I do like the fact. I mean, this doesn't change, right? He's got his. I'm from a stylistic standpoint. I'm not going to tell you it's right or wrong. I don't know that. Not my style. I am more of a menu up top kind of person. That's just how I've always, been more of a fan of. But there are other places. There are professional places, I would say, that do it the other way, and that's fine. I like to use this area for breadcrumbs, which, if you don't know what that is, if you were to, say I have photos and I click on that, but then I have 2 sections of photos, I'd click on another one and I'd see photos, and then I'd see and kind of start breaking that area. So I like to leave this content open, particularly also because when you go to mobile devices, depending on where you build your site, sometimes it's not as friendly. And you also want to be able to hide your menu, and putting it over there doesn't necessarily do that. And we'll see on a mobile device, because I'm going to ask those of you who have the ability, we're going to take a look at the site that we build. I want you to take a look at it and see what it looks like as a mobile. But other than that, as we get through this, let's see here, media work. Let's take a look here. It's better, right? You at least split this up, right? So I could take this information in little chunks. Okay, so it's great. That's not a link, right? It's just, you're showing me what the web address is, but now I gotta scroll over that.
Yeah.
I gotta go copy, or I gotta go to that, or whatever. So
on my page, I'm not sure I can make that a link.
there's a problem, okay? So it depends on whether or not you have control over the
Yeah,
HTML
I'll
of
have to
it.
check that out.
Yeah, where did you make this site?
My page.
My page, okay. And I apologize in advance. There's certain, I'm happy to review any sites that people have, but there are some that I'm just not familiar with as far as the content management system, because there's just so many out there. So, But let me show you a couple things that aren't useful. So here we are in media acting. Okay, again, I don't know what your content management system does, but the web address, 1701.html for a page, like that does nothing for Google. Google's not gonna, and not only that, I'll throw this out. That's great, actorwriter.biz, I don't associate that with your name. So, I don't know how many people here own their name as a domain name, but it is a good investment. And even if it's not available, finding another one, .net, whatever, is fine. One that we're going to review, somebody has a .org, and that's fine as well. The reason is, if you set your site up properly, it will not matter what the do you have your name going to something else, or?
I own my name, but it was hijacked.
Okay, so
I had to go to this.
So that being the case, consider an alteration. Aaron Alexander has aaron-alexander.com, completely fine, because through all the variations that are out there, and people are astute enough to realize that there might be a lot of Aaron Alexanders out there, and so it might be difficult for you to get your domain name, you know. But if you do the setup of your site right, and the SEO is proper, it won't matter. But having your name in there, in the domain name, in my opinion, is very important. You can even go as far, if you really want, to do first, last name, actor. If you want, if yours isn't available, go as far to do that. But just something to keep in mind. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but because I think we're just going to be rehashing a lot of this. But just make sure that, again, break them up into sections, make it easier for that content to be digestible, because certain pieces are going to be grabbed by certain people. Make sure that the headers are clear. This is great, vital statistics, sizes, special skills. If somebody found one particular section appealing first, their eyes are going to be drawn to that because they know exactly where to go. So, something to keep in mind. All right, let's, Sophia, right? Is this person here? No? This person didn't show up. That's okay. Then we get the incredibly brutal. This is gonna be great. Okay. So let me go to this. Let me go to this place. Let me see here. Let's see here. I am way too lazy to type all that in. Okay. See, but here's another issue. I mean, look at that. I mean, do I want to type all that in? That's horrible. Yola site. Okay. Look who's cooking now. So I guess she might have been on the show, or I'm not sure. What's up with Sophia? Live Well Mom Blogs, Worst Cooks in America. Like, I have no idea what this girl does, right? Is she an actor? And if she's not, that's completely fine. But what are you doing? If you're just highlighting the fact that you were on this show, someone might be interested for a moment, and they're going to be gone. Give me a reason to stay. From an organization standpoint, though, it's okay. Like, I don't have a problem with the design. This stays up top. The content just changes. Within, it's still clean. It's clean. It's not, she ties her blog in here with the what's up. I guess this is a different blog, Worst Cooks in America. And she's embedded content, right? It's not, prettiest thing, she just kind of went boom, boom, here, but it's, so I think there's still better ways to do that. But again, the content is there. I'm not distracted. It's very linear. I know where to go. And if I were interested from that home page for some reason, which I'm not, but if the content here had interested me, I may have clicked through and watched those videos. But I have no idea now. I'm assuming that she cooks. Is she an actress? I don't know. So make that very clear, and that page does not do that. So let's move on. I actually think this site's interesting. James Blackburn, is he here?
No.
Again, okay. This site is wordy. It is, but I will show you pieces of what I like here. See how he had to go with the org? You know, I'm sure there are a lot of James Blackburns out here. Okay, I'm not huge on blue on black. Again, there's parts of this site that I feel are very, you know, 5th grade project kind of thing. But what he does at least do well is that he does section things out to a certain extent, where I'm focused to take in little chunks of information at a time. And this all stays over. Now, what he's got here, this huge breakdown of content, this is great for SEO. It's wonderful. It really is, and it will deliver the content faster. When someone looks up James Blackburn, it will bring them a whole slew of content. That being said, it may be still a little bit more than I want to see from the onset. Is it in the order of that he feels is most pertinent to what he's trying to deliver to people? So that's what I would have liked to have asked him. He is making use of that information from the outset. He chose to put his demo reel on the homepage. That's a personal choice. I'm not going to say it's right or wrong either way. It's something that's testable. He did choose to do that, and obviously he took advantage of YouTube. So while stylistically not the biggest fan, it does deliver the content, and it is fairly well organized. So that is that. Does anyone have any questions on this or have any comments that they want to make?
Just,
Yeah.
yeah, the last two have had a lot of like empty space at the very top.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, right?
It
So
seems a wasted space, right?
yeah, and that's a good point, right? So I think that's part of the reason too why I like doing the menu up top. To me, we do that whole reading left to right, top to bottom thing here, but I think that there's less of a chance, because a lot of the time you're trying to figure out what do I put up top? Because it almost feels like you need to also put up something there that should be there the entire time. Well, good, make it the menu. And not only that, but I think what you're going to find is that the real reason to do that is the mobile content. Because now whatever's sitting in the middle here, and when you shrink it down and put it in your mobile content, not worrying about a menu on your left or right hand side, which mobile platforms won't show it nicely if the resolution's too low for your, if you have an S5 or something like that, or just an iPhone, a regular iPhone, that's not the biggest screen in the world. I mean, they're not all. This one can even display desktop content nicely, but that's borderline. So, but yeah, that's a good point. You want, if there is space, make it to the outside. Push it away. Focus everyone in the middle of what's going on here and keep it tight. And really be careful about how you choose your words. You don't have to take these people through a story. They don't care. And I say that in the nicest fashion. There are places to put your story. There are other places that you don't have to. So in the bio, if it's called biography, I think I'm going to go read a story. I'm ready for that. Let's do that. But if I just want to see your resume, you don't have to write under each movie how great it was working with the actors underneath them. I'm sure they really appreciate it when they're looking at your site.